Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Aggressively Average. I've got Frost here.
Howdy.
And this episode is kind of a 1 year anniversary.
Oh boy, has it already been a year?
Our first episode
I,
was Nova last year.
that's a good point. It's been a while. I guess this would be a 1 year anniversary slash update of where we've been.
Mm-hmm.
More so than anything. I guess I'll just start with this. Yeah, we've been away recording a while. We've had like ideas cooking in the background, and we've been working on stuff in the background. But I took a while just to purely focus on medical school stuff. So I didn't really have the time to. I didn't have the time that I would have wanted to. I guess commit or just really put into this stuff, and I was like, I don't really want to do like half-ass kind of stuff. So we're gonna wait till everything calms down, and then we'll start back up. And I guess this is the time right after Nova, everything's sort of settled back down, and I guess we're back.
Well, yeah. I just got back from Nova. Frost didn't make it this year. Broke my heart.
I I had there was no chance I was well, I mean, it has to do with like my research I'm doing as well. Like my it's been a hectic, it's been probably a very hectic, honestly, I want to say since March. It's probably been it's been a really hectic 6 months for me.
Yeah.
Like it's been I mean, I haven't even gotten on like and played games or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been focusing with doctor stuff. I also just another like state of the game kind of thing. Also chilling. I have a few things that I'm also working on in the background. I don't want to say anything, but I have a few ideas cooking on some interesting ways to do battle reports that I think aren't really being used in the YouTube space right now. So some interesting battle reports hopefully coming soon. I am inspired by the NFL in this sense, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
He's a massive, if you guys don't know, Smug is a massive fan of Taylor Swift. So he's going to do the Eras Tour style battle reports.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I only started caring about the Super Bowl once I saw Taylor Swift was there.
If we're going to timestamp this video, this is actually NFL opening kickoff for the first Sunday. For
My
for
favorite
the
thing is
timestamp of
dating
this
our
video.
videos for when they come out 3 months later.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get better. I mean, like I said, I've had a lot going on. Nothing bad. I mean, it was nothing bad. It was just that I just had a ton of work that I had to do, and I just couldn't really commit stuff. But hopefully, we'll be back to like the bi-weekly at the least. Hopefully, we'll get back into like the every week upload. I mean, I know that that's what we would both prefer.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, and I guess this is just sort of a catch-up video. So, how are things going? And I want to ask first, how was Nova? Because I was unable to make it this year. I was gonna play Blood Angels. I actually really like the way Blood Angels are playing right now, but I was unable to make it.
For a variety
And I
of
guess
reasons.
for a variety of reasons. One of them being
Spite.
also that spite was one of them. And one of the other reasons that I didn't actually finish painting my Lamenters, uh, my yellow Blood Angels. If anyone knows that successor chapter, you're an OG. But how was it? How was it for you? I was trying to keep along with BCP as best as possible.
Nova was fun. Everybody that I played against was awesome. The biggest hiccup I had was a Custodes player like taking 15 minutes per model. So it's like, ah, you know. Um, I did lose to him. He was doing the dreadnought thing. I did lose to him, but next time I see him, he owes me a beer. So
Nice.
that's the cope on that one. But the first dude I played against, me and him talked. I got his phone number. Me and him are keeping in touch. I awesome dude. Dude, he's a monster. It was his first GT. He goes to Nova
How do
for
you
his
do?
first. I think he lost every game.
Oh boy. Well, you gotta start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. But like he was so like chill and like he didn't play bad when he played against me. Like he made a lot of good decisions and I like he was a good guy. I like him. The second dude
What
I
faction
played
was he playing? If you
sisters,
don't
but
mind
he
me
had
asking.
Canis.
Gotcha.
So,
Ah,
yeah. It was so nice to just send 8 hammers into him with AP4. Not nothing to do with my opponent, just Canis. Just Canis.
we might be seeing a little bit less of him.
Yeah, and in
But don't
turn,
worry.
18 defenders.
Yeah, that'll be the
We'll
difference.
we'll we'll talk about that. We'll
Oh, we'll
talk
talk
about
about that. Yep,
that.
absolutely.
But it was a fun time. Loved everybody I played against. Man, Thousand Suns goats are annoying. Um, I just Thousand Suns. I'm expecting to get a few points. Ironically enough, I don't think their rules need to change. I think they just need to cost more.
That
Um,
I mean, what are they? They're like it's like 60 for 3 or something, or it might be 80 for 3.
it's 80 for 3. And then obviously you get the ones with the bows with lethal hits, -2/2 ignores cover.
Hmm.
But you put the leader with them to give them 18-inch lone op, and they have 24-inch range, and they move
Ah,
12, so you can just doom bolt from that far away. And like if you're a melee rush army, yeah, you don't care that much, but whew, um,
they can engage you and make it very difficult, and be able to just pot shot after pot shot and activate every turn. I think that's and
and
also because
they
it's like
can doom
because
bolt you when you're in melee.
and I was gonna say, what is the leader is a psyker, right? So he can even do things like give them like
You
potentially
attach
armor of
the HQ to
contempt.
make them lone op.
Gotcha. And
I don't.
but he can cast spells, right?
Yes, yes. I only played against Grand Coven. I don't know if Grand Coven has AOC. I think that's only the Rubicae.
Yes.
Yeah, I Grand Coven just having devs once per game for your entire army is quite good.
Really?
Per me thinks so.
Yeah. Especially if you
Um,
have any access to rerolls, which I'm pretty sure Grand
they
Coven
do,
still does.
they
Yeah.
do, yeah. They can do the spell. They can just do reroll all hits.
Yeah, it's and I think like this has always been a Thousand Suns thing, but I actually think they're probably one of the better armies in the game, but I do believe that they're not, what was I gonna say?
They're not Death
Pre
Guard.
like in They're not Death Guard, and they're not like Index Thousand Suns where they just
Yes,
basically could do whatever they wanted.
unfixable, and they have to be just nerfed out of the game.
Yeah, I mean they basically did that with points. They were so strong that they couldn't really there was not a points that you could basically give any unit without putting them on that razor thin line of this is barely enough to function. If anything wrong happens, like you just kind of auto lose, which is, I don't know. It's kind of a weird design space to be in for an army, but that was just how good they were in the index.
Yeah. Nowadays, I genuinely believe that if they just increase the points of the goats, change the way a few of the things work, Magnus needs to go up. Good lord, Magnus needs to go up. Um, I think
Oh
Thousand Suns are
gosh.
in a pretty decent position.
I just sorry.
What?
I just laugh because like Magnus is like still what he's like the most expensive. He's like 475, 465, something like that. And I
He's
think he would honestly be okay at like 500.
I maybe 550, dude.
He's unbelievable.
He's like, and the thing is, I don't want them to touch his rules. I want him to be a Primarch, you know.
Uh-huh.
But, whew, whew. But Thousand Suns, yada yada. Custodes, I don't like Custodes just having the option to be knights with a 2 up 4 up. I think it's boring. I think it's stupid. I think it's a
I,
boring way for them to play.
yeah, I don't like that build personally. It so those data sheets, especially well, because it's the Forge World data sheets.
Yeah.
those data sheets are so underpowered that they have to give them just
+1
insane
to
buffs for
advance,
them to
+1 to charge,
plus
go
two
through
inches of movement,
walls.
reroll hit
Yeah,
rolls of one. I mean,
yeah.
plus OC. It's like, okay, the ability to advance and charge.
Advance,
And
shoot, and charge.
yeah, and it's just when you take a data sheet, and I mean, think about it. Those data sheets are so bad that even with those buffs and enhancement, you still don't see. You only see the Telemon and the regular Contemptor. I've seen things with like the Galatus, that's the one with the sword and the shield,
Mm-hmm.
being played, but it just kind of annoys me personally. And this has sort of been a whole thing with 11th in general, that some of the buffs are
11th.
so specific. Or sorry, not 11th, with 10th. This is what I hope they change in 11th, is that some of the buffs are so specific to data sheets that they just don't. Those data sheets no longer work in other detachments, and
I
that's
will
sort of.
say, given the most recent codexes, they've done a pretty good job of gearing away from that, I think.
Yes, it's a step in the right direction, certainly.
Yeah. I think this summer they came back to, oh right, we have to make this game fun cuz there's a lot of crazy wacky rules and hey man, we need it. Um that's what I'm hoping for, to like keep going into 11th. But overall, Nova this year, I didn't have any buddies who went with me. And that is one thing that I did not realize. Like, this is the first tournament I've ever gone to where I didn't have a crew with me in some way, shape, or
That's
form.
interesting.
I've always gone with my boys, either my local area or you at Nova.
That's it's an interesting experience. I mean, I don't want to say it's lonely, but it is different, right? Like being able to like go and just like talk it up with your friends like after a game, and just
Mm-hmm.
be able to like do, say like what you did like well, what you did bad, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like it kind of just makes the whole experience, in my opinion, like much more enjoyable.
Like I
I've gone to GTS and stuff by myself, but
Yeah, I
it's
and
not as
like
much
I
fun.
also don't want like the message of it to be like, if you're alone, don't go to a GT, because like
Oh no, I think you definitely should. I
I
think it's a good
yes,
experience.
absolutely, because like I didn't have any buddies, so I just started immediately making friends. like
That
I,
yeah, and that honestly is, I think it's really important, because even from people that I met last year at Nova, I still talk to,
mhm.
and I'll even play games on TTS with, because they live across the country.
The first year that I went to Nova, I played against one dude on Demons, and like just magically, almost every single tournament I've been to, he's also been there, and it's just like
That's
every
really cool.
time, like he's local to DC, like he's Baltimore, Maryland up there. I hope that's not doxing. I haven't given any information about him. No.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. And like he came to Cherokee, and like I saw him at Cherokee. I was like, "Whoa, hey, this was a hop and a skip for you." And he's like, "Yeah, I thought I'd return the favor. I figured you would be here." And
Oh,
obviously that
nice.
was the joke, but like every time I see him, it's always sweet to talk to him. Like, dude, when I was dying at Cherokee, he gave me like 3 ibuprofen, 15 cough drops. That man got me through day two.
What a legend.
He's a hero. So like I don't have his number and I'm just horrible with names, so I don't remember his name. But like every time I see him, I always stop by and say hi. And like that's an
That's what it's
experience.
about.
That's an experience you can only get if you go to a GT. Cuz like I also want to mention the reason me and him like talked so much is because that was after your awful game at Nova last year, so I didn't have anybody
Oh
to talk
boy.
to.
Oh boy.
yeah.
Oh boy. What's
Yeah.
funny is that I actually do know. Well, I actually do talk to that person now,
Yeah.
and it's a lot better. But man, I was an
Oh, he did
unhappy
you dirty.
player
He did
after.
you dirty. He did you dirty.
I, I'm just like, whatever. I
A
mean, me
year
and him had
later, a year later. Just
a
remember,
year later.
aggressively average, we never forget.
Oh, yeah. What is that quote that like JFK says? Like, keep your enemy, or it's like keep your friends close, but
And
your
your
enemies
enemy's closer.
closer. No, I would not consider him an enemy, not at all.
no, 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 no.
But it's just sometimes, hey, sometimes when you're at a really long event, things can get miscommunicated,
Yes.
and that's like 99%, I think, of any sort of problems. Then I wouldn't even say it like looking back on it, it was really annoying, but I think it was kind of sort of it was understandable in the moment, like
Yeah.
how it happened, but
And
you
also,
know,
another thing, just a normal war, because we're talking about tourneys, you will get a rule wrong. You will. It doesn't
oh
matter.
god, yeah, absolutely.
The pros get rules wrong. I'm gonna get rules wrong. It's just, it's gonna happen. It's fine. There's so many other things in this world to be concerned about than that. Um,
I would also say, like in general, it depends on like the type of rule. Because one of the things, I mean, like there's this thing, like fighting on death, right?
mhm.
This is a rule that I see often gets played incorrectly a lot, where like units. So if there is a ability that triggers basically like when a unit is selected to do something, you don't get that on the fight on death because
Yes.
that unit is technically never selected. But if the
Correct.
model gets the rule, then like you get it. But I've done that where it's like, you know, you got like Lance or something like that, and it's like, oh, well, we're not Lance. Oh yeah, it's like you get Lance, and it's like you fight on death. It's like, oh well, I charged and you know whatever, and then technically that you wouldn't get it, but it depends. It just I don't know actually the wording on that, but stuff like that,
Mhm.
and that's completely normal and completely
Mhm.
fine. But I would suggest going to a GT by
Yes.
yourself. I
Yeah.
say it's not as much fun, but I think you get more out of it legitimately.
Yes. 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 That's the best way to phrase it. It's more fun to go with your buddies and just like like skull some beers and just like throw dice and have fun. But I think as a member of the community, you give more and you get more when you're solo at a tourney. Granted,
Oh, absolutely.
that all depends on you being a good person. So if you were in the comments writing, "I've been to GTs alone and it was horrible," look in the mirror.
or if you played against Death Guard 5 times and you were unhappy, that
Hey,
also can happen.
look, man. If you played against Death Guard 5 times, you deserve like a veterans medal. As far as I'm concerned, you went to Vietnam. So
How was that, by the way, in terms of the composition of lists? Because I know, because what who ended up winning? It was Folger Piles and Eldar, right?
Eldar, yeah, it was. Oh gosh, I know it was Mortal Wound spam with fire dragons, which are gonna get hurt pretty bad soon. Um,
I wonder at what point cost that they could even make them to where they're not just auto taking like 10 to 15. And I don't think there is.
I don't think there is either. I think it's the fact that they're gonna lose so many other trade pieces that Eldar has to have. I think that's what's going to come at the cost for fire dragons. I don't see a world where strength 12 6 Melta will ever not be the immediate pick for anti tank, but oh boy, um, I think it'll just come at a cost. Like it might straight up just be like you have that unit of fire dragons in the wave serpent, and then like one other unit you're able to throw away for a secondary, and then you just run out of things to do actions with.
I wonder if it's going to be. I guess you would never cut the Wave Serpent because that's kind of the only way they survive.
Mm-hmm. And that's the only way they can just move forward without an issue.
Or I wonder if it's something like you cut the Wave Serpent and it's like I just get more Fire Dragons knowing I'm just going to lose these squads. That's the other
Maybe.
thing I
I
could
mean, it's
see.
also Eldar. They move fast. Like they can get pretty much wherever they need to.
God, that unit just being able to go like 21. Oh well, I guess we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Things being able to
But
get wherever they want. No
Nova
way.
was good. Nova was fun. I met a lot of fun people. They were out of steeljacks.
Oh, you know what I forgot? You know, shoot, I meant to ask you if there was any cool custodian like dice slash objective markers there. That's on
They
me.
had the
That's okay.
objective markers. They had the objective markers.
They didn't have dice.
They didn't. No, that only
Nope.
comes out with the
Okay.
codex. That only comes out with the codex.
Sweet. Didn't
Yeah.
miss anything then.
Yeah, you could have gotten the objective markers though. I did buy CSM objective markers for my buddy.
Did you get the Votan objective markers? I don't remember.
No, I've got okay, in my brain. This is purely personal preference for everybody at home. I don't know why you want more than one type of objective markers. I just want the
I,
one.
I have two. I have two sets, and I don't really want more than that.
Yeah, I I want these until they're raggedy, and then I'll get new ones. Like that. That's
I understand. I completely understand. I only have two because I was like supporting my local gaming group. Like
yeah.
they were like putting out, it's like, hey guys, we're like buying like we're like doing an order for objective markers.
Ooh.
And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll buy a pair, like support them,
Ooh.
whatever. Like for the people who like host the tournaments and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll do that.
I need to tell my local league about that. My local league. By the way, they bought a like building or like they made a deal. We're getting GTS here consistently soon.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the first big like 2 day GT that we're having is I don't care, November 22nd. Um,
November 22nd. Let me
the
see what's
week
going on
before
with me.
Thanksgiving, the
That's
weekend before
hey,
Thanksgiving.
I don't think that's a bad time.
You want to come up for it? You want to come say hi?
Maybe,
Really?
maybe
Hey, I
depending
got
on the
come on
hey,
up.
depending on like what I got going on, it's not that far.
So yeah, we've got the data slate for September coming like this week. What I'm hoping to see from it is Death Guard. I want to see a wave of red. Um, Imperial Knights. I want to see a wave of red. Chaos Knights. I want a few more points. They're not terrible, but they need points because I don't want to fight. I don't want to be stat checked. It's not fun.
You don't want to fight what, five big knights and an armiger or a
No, I'm good.
huntsman?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Um, so I want to see those go up. Eldar, okay. Fire dragons, I want up, but I do want some of their other units to go down because we gotta remember, that guy is probably one of the best players in the world who won Nova. So I don't think that this is a cry for Eldar to be nerfed into the ground. I think Eldar's strong. I don't think Eldar is a Control Alt Delete.
I mean, if you remember, for WC, like for Warhammer Worlds, Folger won that as well with Custodians, and at that
With
time,
Custodians, yeah.
Custodians were seen as like
One
not
of the
very
bottom
strong,
tiers.
and they were bottom tier for certain. But he won it, and the Wardens caught a nerf because of it. Not a
Mm-hmm.
massive one. It was only like 10 points or whatever. But I don't know what they should do with Fire Warriors, or not Fire Warriors. This isn't Tau. Fire Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think they should go up. I don't think they should get a rules change. I don't think the rules are
No.
any different than like Eradicators or anything.
Again, they're just efficient. They're just really efficient. And that's why I'm also saying like I want them to go up because they are so good. They should cost more, but other things can go down. I don't
You know,
I think warp spiders are roughly fine, but like maybe banshees get 5 points cheaper. I know they're good, but
they're 19 points a model, and this is,
oh man.
I mean, they're expensive, and that was sort of what I was sort of getting at with Fire Dragons is at a certain point, right? At the end of the day, they are just toughness 3 with a 3 up save, 1 wound.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any form of like good indirect, like if guard right now was like, I guess, prowling the meta, like you could
Mm-hmm.
say, I bet Eldar is significantly worse. But you just
Yeah.
don't really see a lot of armies that have indirect. I think Tau has a decent amount of indirect, but again, they're not really dominating the meta, and you're not
They're
seeing a
also
ton of
not
them.
running their indirect. At least
Yeah,
not
they're
from
not
what I'm
running the
aware of.
SMS on the. I think they should personally. Like if it were me, I would always run it because like if you just, I mean, if you just get to shoot them for free every time, like you're
Mm-hmm.
shooting stuff with bad saves and weak, like and just weak. I mean, just why not, right? But
Mm-hmm.
without those kind of armies that have good indirect and access to a lot of it, I just don't see. I don't see Eldar really having a super big weakness. But again, they're just not. They're not. They're not like what? What's a good? They're not wraiths, right? They're very
Yeah.
easy to kill, and if you
Yeah.
misplay them, I mean, they're dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they're entirely a focus. Like if this unit pops and it doesn't get to safety, they're gone. They'll
And
kill whatever they touch, but that's about it.
it's an army, and this has always been Eldar's thing. It's an army that if you play it incredibly well, you're probably gonna be. I'm not going to say like you're not going to lose a game because obviously it's a dice game, right?
Hmm.
But you have a much higher chance of winning if you play perfectly, even if
Yeah.
your opponent plays perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with that. And the thing is with Eldar too, as an opponent who can go against them, like you can set up for them to mess up pretty consistently.
Yeah, you
Like
can bait them.
if you yeah, like it's so easy to bait them. Maybe this is just Votan and me talking, but like you can send a pretty cheap unit out and do well. And it's like, "Oh, but you can't overwatch them." I never had flamers. Means nothing to me. So, like I never made the game plan on overwatching. And like maybe that's just the one more thing at Nova. I got my sisters from your buddy. I'm not going to
Oh, nice.
maybe I should say his name for
No, that's
hey,
fine. I mean, I'll ask him. We'll put
yeah,
it in post. He does
yeah.
commissions.
It all right. Insert here if approved. Way to contact the guy who did my sisters. They look beautiful. And he did white and they look good.
He's a great painter. He
He's
is
an
truly a
amazing
great
painter.
painter.
Amazing painter. I am going to be sending most of my sisters to him in the future from now
Yeah, I'll ask him.
on.
I'll ask him how he feels about it, and then yeah, we can get his contact. If you need commissions, I know he does a lot of commissions. He likes doing them as well. So
Mhm. Yeah. He was awesome to talk to, flexible in every way, beautiful. Very,
super
very,
tall.
very happy. Insanely tall. I,
I
I
mean, like that's
I'm
just like
I'm
random bit. Very
yeah,
tall.
random bit. Whenever I'm talking to him, I'm just looking at the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like but awesome guy. Okay, yeah. That was a Nova thing. Like I think okay, and another thing, general meta sense right now. Please, please, please delete Gladius from all just delete it. Just delete Gladius, quite frankly. But more than anything, don't let the Special Marines have it. Dark Angels, Wolves, whatever. And also, they absolutely should. Now that they've done it with Black Templars, there's an obligation to go back and change the army rule for all of them.
I think that would be. I think that would go a long way. With a lot of the Marine players, I don't know if that's the biggest priority. As it would be something that would be really nice, and this is actually, I guess we'll talk about it after we talk about the stuff we wanted to balance
Mm-hmm.
slate. I I also agree about Gladius. I don't think it should be accessed by the other specialty chapters because it doesn't really. I know that Games Workshop wants all Marines to be able to play the same rules, and I get that. I get it as like a concept because we want to get people into the game. Marines are obviously, the poster faction, and I think that that's completely fine. I think you could run Gladius if there's literally no special characters, and I've told
Yeah.
you this is that
If you want to
like
do
you can have your.
Bloodless Blood Angels, sure.
Oh yeah, but it's like yeah, but you cannot have. I would literally just even like say like no Calgar, no Gilliman, like no
Mm-hmm.
special characters. It's only generic Space Marines, but I
Mm-hmm.
think that would be good. I don't really think that Marines. I think Marines are good. I think they actually play funny enough. I don't think they really play like Marines this edition.
No, they don't.
I think they actually play a lot more like Eldar, which is kind of hilarious.
They're so squishy. Well, hey, stay tuned. We got an answer to that.
Oh yeah, that'll be upcoming. That'll we'll eventually
Click
get back
click
into
on our
that.
channel and find the video we're talking about.
Oh boy, it's
will
gonna be
be
a doozy.
it'll be a doozy. But
Probably 3-part episode.
yes,
Honestly, yeah, probably 3 parts.
Space
Yeah.
Marines. I am yeah, Space Marines. And the thing is, like, it's like you said, they're not in a bad spot right now. It's just they have so many feels bad built-in mechanics, and it's partially they're suffering from success because they have so many models. But if they could get rid of Gladius so they didn't have to balance a super faction around a single detachment, they could do so much more with the armies.
They can make them a lot more fluffy, for lack of a better term.
Yes, yes, and
That.
All right, every single special marine should have another detachment that is god awful, but let me be clear. For example, Black Templars,
God
the
awful.
entire detachment is only psychers. I hate psychers. That's it. That's the
Oh,
like
you don't want
every
to pick your
single
one Val that's like really, really bad, and then like that's like the what is it? You get like reroll charges against psychers or something. Like that's the Val versus the
like
permanent
I
plus one
want
to wound.
3 of the strats to only be workable if you're targeting an enemy psyker. I want the detachment rule to be like, you know what? T-Suns can take it back. Devs against psychers. Like, just have some insanity against psychers only. And then, like, give Deathwatch the same thing, I guess. Sure. I don't have an opinion on... I do have an opinion on Deathwatch. I don't care about Deathwatch. That's my opinion on Deathwatch. So they can have their
Says the
anti-alien
Xeno
thing.
player. I also
Hey,
don't really. I mean,
I've
I
got
think they're
sisters
cool, but
now.
like I'm not. They don't. I mean, I don't know. They don't. They don't strike my. I don't even know. They don't tickle my fancy at all. I think they're
Like,
cool.
I think if you're
Like,
that into kill teams, there's a
you play Kill
there's a
Team.
there's a game
It's
mode
a
for
literal
you.
game. Um,
That's my humble opinion.
I'm actually surprised you went with Marines first. The first thing you mentioned on the data slate, because I have. I mean, it's the elephant in the room, isn't it? Kind of. We've sort of skirted around it.
Go for it.
They got to do something to Knights, and they got to
Oh
do
my gosh.
something.
Well,
Like this is coming off of the leaks and the codex, I
yeah,
guess, reviews coming from a lot of places. This oh, the codex is out. I
it's
think there's a
strong.
real issue that could come from this book, and
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's good as ninth edition Leviathan for Tyranids or even the
yeah,
Drukhari Thick City build,
yeah,
but I don't know. It's pretty close. I think if you take it and you look at the other factions, like if I were to take that Knight book and compare
yeah.
it to, let's say, Sisters. Sisters are an
Oh my
objectively
gosh.
fine army. It blows that sister book out of the
Out
water.
of the
It's not even
water.
close.
Not even
Like
close. Yeah, sure, Morin Vol will kill anything in melee, but like then she's dead immediately.
it's there's some combos. We're not going to get into this. We're not going to get into like all the specifics with it. So I highly suggest if you want to hear a good video on it, actually go watch Fireside 40K. I really
Mm-hmm.
like their podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk. They're a competitive channel based out of the UK. I really like their breakdown of it, and we're not going to get into the specifics, but I think there is a real like situation or real potential that if Games Workshop does not change points upon release of that book, that there's a large portion of the community,
That will
not
quit.
community, they'll just quit. I mean, I hate
Stop
to
playing.
be that hyperbolic. It looks that bad.
Yeah. Being T11 is
Doesn't mean
not
anything.
does not mean give them another 100 points per model.
Well, it's not even that. It's
Um,
like losing the feel no pain doesn't mean anything if you can literally
no.
get turn one. So I don't know if you know the exact combo,
It
but
yeah.
there is a very real potential that you can get 3 big knights, and one of them would be Canis Rex to get this to work.
Mhm.
Um, but there's a real potential that you take 3 big knights and you move them 24 inches on average.
Mhm.
And turn one, because they're towering, they just have to tow into any terrain piece. Depending
Mhm.
on your layouts, you can't hide. Like
Mhm.
you're talking turn one, like you have 3 big knights, and well, that's these 3 big knights, and the other knights are going to move 21 inch or what would it was it? Yeah, 21 inches on average.
Mhm.
So you're going to basically have however many big knights and then however many armigers in your deployment zone turn one, putting damage on you.
I think if you have 3 knights, it needs to cost no less than 1.5 or maybe even 1.6.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I've always said this that knights should basically be two giant knights, and they're just absolute tyrants, and then
Yeah.
the rest armigers, and then like the rest allies.
Yeah. I mean, hey, as far as I'm concerned, they just need to turn knights into the glass cannons that they seem to want them to be. By like and whenever I say glass cannons, I mean losing the feel no pain, losing the point of toughness, not having the invuln in melee. Like if you want all that, fine. but that doesn't mean you can make them like you can't
They're
have the
faster than
Eldar
Eldar.
argument. Yeah, you can't have the
Oh,
Eldar argument.
they are faster than Eldar. It's not
They're
even that. Like, it's
faster,
not
they're
even.
tougher, they're more consistent, they're
They shoot
tankier. Yeah,
harder.
they shoot harder. Yeah. Point being,
So
they need
uh,
3 knights needs to cost an exuberant amount,
they need
or
to take
you
some serious point hikes, and they need
yes,
to treat them differently from Chaos Knights. They're not the same
yes,
book, and they're not
they're
the
not the
same
same
guide
book.
sheets.
The Chaos Knights is like noticeably worse, which Chaos Knights, congrats. Um, but yeah, Imperial Knights needs to cost. And I mean, the reason I didn't bring it up is because, like, that's the obvious. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
it's I don't know. I mean, I mean, hopefully at this, so I'm going to like an RTT, just like a local RTT.
mhm,
And I don't think there's really going to be a whole lot of nights there, based on the people I know who are going. But
mhm,
I just know, and this is where it gets into this weird aspect of competitive 40K, because I think some of these guys that are going to be going is that there's certainly there's an interesting mix at my local tournaments, because we have some people who are legitimately top like 100 in the world. I mean,
mhm,
a couple of them got like top 50 at LVO. Some of them got like top 10 at Cherokee. There's some
mhm,
very good players at this place, but there's also some very casual players at these events. And I think it's a really interesting mix of people.
mhm.
But I honestly wonder, from a competitive or just a balancing aspect, because I believe that Games Workshop in general balances not around tournaments and GTs, they balance around the casual community. And I think honestly, like in general, that's fine. I don't understand how
Yeah.
that army is fun at a casual level.
I, I mean, the only thing I can imagine is you roll up and you look at your buddy's knights and you say, huh, those look cool. I'm gonna go drink 4 beers and we'll play 5 games in an hour.
I there I mean I hear some people say, of course they're being hyperbolic, but they're like, if I have to get paired against like knights and it goes unchecked, like I'm just gonna concede, like because
Yeah.
it's you're just not gonna win. And I don't want this to be like harping on a whole knight conversation, but this does get to where I was sort of hoping to end up, where
Mm,
10th edition, I think, has a very clean rule set. I would believe everyone would say the same thing. I think there was a lot of weird stuff in ninth. I do miss the really weird interactions like demon
that's
saves and
yeah.
whatever, but I
Yeah.
understand why they got rid of it. Um, but I wonder and I'm worried that when you get into 11th edition, so let's say Votan, right? Because this is
Mm,
coming off the Votan release. Your book is quite
very
interesting.
okay. The book has built in like there's one strat which is just the strongest thing in the game, but you can only do it for like maybe the first half of the game and then never again.
And there's a chance they FAQ it.
I'm expecting them to cuz quite frankly, being able to advance a transport and then just get out in the shooting phase closer than you would have cuz it's wholly within 6 instead of 3. Um so you get a better charge after a transport. Yeah, no, it's going to be FAQ'd in some way, shape, or form. But as of this current moment, it is there's a lot of shenanigans, and I'm so happy because the Ironkin are really good. If I talk about the Terminators, I'll cry. The Thunderkin, the Thunderkin are in a weird spot where they made the Thunderkin too good at dealing damage, even though they're supposed to be the strip covers unit. So the fact that they're 80 points for 3 is it's insane for what they do. But like we don't have any other choice because all of our AP is -1, -2 at best.
And you guys lost a lot of the ignore cover, right?
We lost all of the ignore cover. It became
That's why you got to bring your Thunderkid now.
yeah, every list starts off with 2 Thunderkin, Uthar, and probably 2 land forts
I was gonna say it
minimum.
kind of feels like a Tau build in a sense where it's like your list starts with what, like 2 or 3 ghost kills and 2 or 3 stealth suits
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah, And
Unless
like,
you're playing all crew,
unless you're playing all crew,
you're a monster.
based. Um, so it's like, other than that part of the codex that has come out, the Delve Assault Shift looks stupid funny, and I think it's hilarious. The just the straight up rules of the index mostly being untouched is great. And best of all, the army rule is so cool.
It requires a lot of thinking up beforehand and actually like setting up plays, and I like that a lot because on the surface it's a little finicky. I mean, it's maybe the
Yeah.
best way to describe it. And I think if you don't have a lot of experience with it, it's gonna bite you. But then once you get a good grip on the timing of when you need to push and when you need to not push, and when to use strats and not use strats, I think it's gonna be really good.
Mm-hmm.
But I worry, and this is where I was getting at, is that this book is very, I would say it's not, I don't think it's not like ninth edition Admech or ninth edition Grey Knights or any of those really complicated books
It's
from.
yeah, it's not too complicated, but there are some hiccups. And no offense, but that's kind of what people like about Xenos factions. If you want, no, as a Votan player for 2 years now, and just doing grudge tokens, just point and clicking units, I'm a lot happier that I no longer just look at things and pick them up. It's now, okay, let me remove your cover and then also shoot the land fort, and the land fort will do this much. And then on top of that, now my bikes are utility pieces. They skirmish and they skirmish well. It's no longer a go
Death
forward and
Star.
push. Yeah, like it's no longer just a point and click your judged token at the start of the game to get your detachment roll max. It's I sit on board edges, I do actions, and then on the rare opportunity that you are desperate for me to do damage, I can pop in on another board edge and do damage. And it's like,
Mhm.
that's sweet. That's awesome. That's what bikes are supposed to be. I, however, personally, think that it probably would have been better if bikes removed cover.
Kind of makes sense. I
Or
mean, I
or
like
one of the
the
new carriers. Or one of the new carriers.
that is what I was gonna say. I feel like the one of the carriers should have done that. But what more so that I was getting at is that there's a lot of like there's going to be a lot of I think figuring out the book because of
Yes.
how the interactions are. And
Mm-hmm.
I worry about, and this is where I was getting back for like 11th edition. I worry about 10th edition, where let's say, and we mentioned the sisters book. Objectively, it's fine,
Yeah.
but there is a severe lack. And I think you can look at the Orc, you can look at Tau, you can look at Dark Angels, and a lot of the beginner factions, and even look at things like I would say Necrons, but like honestly, they've somehow avoided this whole this
Yeah.
whole thing. But even like Guard and whatnot, even though I think Guard is fine, a lot of these older books just do not. They pale in comparison to the new books,
They do show their wear. They do show their wear.
and I worry that when you go into 11th, because I think it's rumored that the codexes are going to stay.
I would be surprised if they didn't.
I would also be surprised if they didn't, but I don't think they should. I think they should index everything again, like
I
legitimately.
what I think they're gonna do is I think they're gonna give everybody a new detachment, like a new Grotmiss, maybe one or two detachments per, and maybe rewrite some army rules. Like
That's the other
I
thing. I think some army rules are desperate need of rewrites. I think Orc's army
yeah.
rule is a desperate need of rewrite.
Orc Wog is cool. It's awesome. Rewrite it. It's anything, any army rule that's one turn. Rewrite it.
Nids
Nids.
needs to be
Rewrite it.
rewritten.
Custodes, sisters. If they touch sisters army rule, I'm gonna cry. But I know that they're going to. Um, and Eldar's
I
army rule breaks my heart. But yeah, sure, it's fine. Keep it. And like for army rules that desperately need to change more than anything. God bless you, AdMech players this edition.
They're actually okay. Honestly, AdMech has gotten to the point where I know that we crap on it a lot, and it's because they were so bad for so long. If you
So
meet a really good AdMech player, I legitimately
oh, they'll
believe,
kill you.
oh, they're good.
Yeah.
That faction is actually okay. It just takes a maniac to be good at it. But if they
One thing I
are, they're
also want to
quite good
say,
at it.
the thing the
They just don't
way
have
that
to.
AdMech is good, the way that AdMech is good is completely opposed to the faction's identity.
That's actually a very good point. Yes.
And that's one thing as well, that like with the codexes that need to be rewritten. Custodes needs a rewrite because they shouldn't be fight phase only. They're the best of the best of the best of the best. It should be. It shouldn't just be like. It shouldn't be CSM, but you don't take a leadership test.
Well,
Like,
I'm not going to get into too much details because I could go on for too
yeah,
long. But
yes, that is very true.
it's more of like, it's the best way to describe it. There are armies that just do not have, and you look at the Chaos Knights, or not Chaos Knights, sorry. You look at Imperial Knights, and you look at Death
Mm.
Guard, and you look at these Thousand Sons, and you look at all the new Legion books. Those Legion books, I think
They're
all,
sick.
they're all great because they allow you to respond to events that may occur in a game, and it gives you just options.
Yes.
Um, I
One
mean,
thing as well, like there are problems with them. Emperor's Children needs more data sheets. World Eaters needs more data
yeah,
sheets.
of course. I
Yada
mean,
yada. But
there are
they
problems, except if you're Death Guard, then you're perfect.
you're more than perfect. Slanesh is fiending for Death Guard right
My,
now.
my favorite thing about Death Guard was for a long time is they had more units than you and they were better. Now they just have the same amount of units as you, but they're better.
Yeah.
So it's balanced. There's a lot of armies that will basically there will be solutions that they just cannot solve. Now I don't think every faction should be able to easily solve every problem because that kind of like
Yes.
gets rid of the faction identity.
Yes.
But I don't think if okay, so we'll look at like Chaos Knights, right? So let's say you're playing World Eaters, you have shooting with the Forge Fiends, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't really have a ton of anti-tank for the most part because their anti-tank is the 8 pound and
Exalted
the
8
exalted
bound.
8 pound,
Yeah.
or just hella berserkers. But a lot of it is damage too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that knights should just be able to say, yeah, guess what? You basically cannot kill my army now. Which is sort of a problem. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing happens with. This kind of goes with hull spam in general, but there are some factions that are in desperate need of assistance in dealing with problems that come up during the game. Because we had this talk that we can't understand why Dark Angels are not like
Yeah.
one of the best factions in the game. But you played against Dark Angels and you whooped them, right?
Well, whooped is strong. I was losing like turn 1 and 2. I thought I was gonna just straight lose the game. But what I realized is, and he was playing Wrath of the Rock, so we could advance and shoot and charge or whatever. So it was the Deathwing Terminators they were pushing, they were pushing, they were pushing. They would kill a unit of Berserks, they'd kill a Sagittar, they'd kill anything they touch. But then my bikes would wear them down. And yeah, they're -1 damage, so all the damage is 1. But when you have a million shots, the second you kill 3 guys, which they're 4 wounds a pop, it's not easy, but it's inevitable. They lose. And you can't make them cheaper. Like, you can't make them cheaper. Because if you make them cheaper, you just lose. So after playing that game, I realized the reason Dark Angels lose is because their specialty units are like in this weird category where they're so good at what they do that it actually kind of becomes a negative.
It can kind of hinder the army.
Yeah.
And if you can basically, because it says like they would kill a lot of what they touch, but if they go into something that is what's like if it, like okay, we'll talk about the knights again because I don't have any better thing. If you can put 3 -1 damage armigers, they're not killing it.
Nope.
And that is sort of a problem. And like I don't know why knights also have a reactive move, and I don't really. God, this cannot just be complaining about knights. I'm gonna move on after this from knights.
No more knights. No more knights after
no
this.
more knights after this. But
and another way that you can really tell the age just of the codex.
Think of the army rule.
With a single detachment brought so much life to that army. And it's data sheet locked, and Tyranid players were just like, I don't care. I got something. Like,
it's hilarious because that's actually the point I was trying to get at is that that detachment, by the way. So what is it? The Subterranean Assault?
Yeah.
It is broken. It is completely broken.
But it's only acceptable because it's on NIDS.
That's the thing. Like, if you take that rule set and just as in a vacuum, and I've said this about custodians, right? But if you take that
Mm-hmm.
subterranean, like you have all the tunnel markers and whatever, and you can like
Mm-hmm.
deep strike 6 inches and charge with like your
Mm-hmm.
entire army. There's almost
Mm-hmm.
no stipulations on it.
Mm-hmm.
If you take that in a vacuum, you're like, oh my god. Like I'm thinking like if Blood Angels had access to that detachment rule, reroll hit rolls of
Mm-hmm.
1 plus all that tunneling stuff,
Mm-hmm.
they would be unbelievably good. They would probably
Functionally a 6-inch rapid ingress, or
yeah.
yeah, like because that's what you're gonna get away with,
Uh,
and
and here's my 3 squads of Sanguinary Guard and my 2 squads of Blade. No, you wouldn't even do that. Here's my 3 squads of Blade Guard Veteran and my 3 squads of
mm-hmm.
Sanguinary Guard. Have
Mm-hmm.
fun. Oh, you can't kill
Mm-hmm.
all these things with invulns, and they're gonna kill literally half your army in this one turn.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
I
problem.
hope you have enough damage 3 on Overwatch.
Yeah, but you know what Nids don't have the ability to do? Kill you half your army in one turn.
Yeah, yeah. Nids pop out. They charge you on 6 inches, and they hit you hard, and they
They
get you
completely
below
bounce.
half. Like maybe get you below half. Let me dream. So like in that detachment, what you do is you just run max Raveners and 3 Maliceptors, and you just sit, you just hold people down all game. And whenever you hold enough down that you're like, man, I really don't want these guys falling back, then you shadow in the warp, and it's like, aha, a combo finally. And it's like, it took them that long to come up with an interesting way to make Shadow in the Warp work.
And then it's like, and then the best part about it is that if Shadow in the Warp just doesn't work,
No, because it's a leadership test. Because Gilliman's gonna be on the table and he's gonna give everybody a 5-up or something.
and you just be like auto pass. No, I'm just kidding. Like,
Yeah,
or you're on
yeah,
battle shot. It's not even
yeah,
that. It's like you could get like I play. There's a decent amount of Nid players like around in my local meta.
yeah.
I can't tell you the amount of times I've played against them and just literally nothing. No one fails.
Nothing happens.
In
Yeah,
the same time, like I've played it where everything in my army failed except for 2
yeah.
units, and guess what? It did not impact the outcome of the game.
No, it typically doesn't. Most people have sticky. Most people have this. Most people have that. Like, Battle Shock as a mechanic doesn't really work.
And that's and that.
Shocking.
Imagine if Nids. Okay, so imagine they don't change the rule, the army rule for Nids, and
Mm-hmm.
we go into 11th, and Nids don't get their book, right? Obviously, they'll get updates and whatever,
Yeah,
but there
yeah.
are
We'll get a
fundamental
slate.
problems. There's fundamental
Yeah,
problems with those units in that book. Let's say they
yeah,
don't get it until 2027,
yeah,
2028, maybe. Yeah,
yeah. So
2027
you're playing with Shadow in the Warp
December.
for 5 years. 5 years
Do
of
you think
Shadow
people
in
are
the
going to
Warp.
enjoy that? Maybe it's like a strategy to be like buy new army, um, which is kind of
Which it
genius if you think
is.
about
Yeah.
it.
I'm gonna be
Um,
honest with you. I think it is. I fully do. It's
I
worked on
just,
me. It's
I
worked
mean,
on me.
it's worth telling you. I just look at that and I really worry that there's going to be factions that are just going to be left behind. And I know this update's not going to really do much for that because there's only so much you can do without rewriting a bunch of data sheets. And I really, we'll see how 11th goes. I think they're going to add complexity, and I'm pretty sure those 11th codexes are going to be fine.
Yes.
Um, I think
I
they've learned a lot.
oh man, whatever morons were writing codexes at the start of the edition, um, they clearly got fired. Like this isn't even me trying to be mean. This isn't me trying to do a haha funny joke. It's straight up like these people clearly have either been fired or retrained or Trench Crusade got them off their asses.
Maybe. I think more so than anything,
Yeah.
it's just that there's been a massive design philosophy change in the community, or not even in the community, but just at Games Workshop, and that's very apparent. Um, and I wonder if they are willing to do that on almost. Oh my God! I just thought about this. Drukari have had this. They haven't. When are they?
They've
Are they
had
on the like? Are they
3
on?
detachments.
Dude, are they on the? Are they on the? God, the roadmap.
We don't have a roadmap for them yet now.
It's September 2025. Okay, if all by
It's
all
okay.
accounts, we are.
This is a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They're expected to get their codex in December, so they'll have their codex for half a year before.
Oh
11th
my
edition.
God! Like, oh boy. I wonder.
However, I have heard that they're getting a pretty decent refresh.
That would be cool. I think like that would be fine. Oh, by the way, real quick, if we're gonna talk, I know we kind of pivoted from the balanced data slate. Basically,
Yeah,
we're kind of hoping that they take a serious look at the Death Guard stuff and don't repeat the same exact problem of, oh yeah, we're just
right.
not going to nerf the data sheets, even though everyone knows that they're completely overpowered and undercosted.
If
Um,
if you refuse to nerf the abilities, fine. Make them 800 points.
I don't think this is the personal opinion hot take. I don't actually think it's a hot take. I don't think knights should be an army.
I don't
Just
look. I just got Chaos Knights as like a fun little side project. Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights, they should be limited to their own version of Kill Team, where it's instead of Kill Team, it's APOC.
called
And
Adeptus Titanicus.
yeah, sure, make a version of it for them. Um, let people like let people make full 5,000 point armies. If you're using knights and you don't want to buy up to 5,000 points, I don't care. I have no sympathy for you. I'm sorry. Buy Custodes if you want to if you want a
You
cheap
know,
army.
there's actually very interesting. I was talking to someone about this, about custodians and like whatever, because I said this to someone I know, and they're like, "Well, I don't think custodians should be an army," and I said, "Yeah, they probably shouldn't be." But they're probably they're probably one of the more popular factions in Warhammer, and it's obvious Games Workshop's going to support them.
Mhm.
And I think
Mhm.
Games Workshop is maybe going to take the opinion of, okay, we've nerfed Death Guard again. I mean, honestly, really, what they should do, and I think this would legitimately fix the army, which is really sad. They should just be like, no more 6-inch deep strike on the Death Shroud.
Yeah,
Like that would almost. I'm not saying it would completely fix it,
it
but I
would
think if
make
they
it
did
better.
that, it would make it a lot better. And I think if they changed Mortarian's Anvil to be like you select only one unit that's afflicted instead of two, maybe do that. I think that would fix a lot of problems, and then make the thing in virulent. Oh gosh, the index attachment or whatever you want to call it, just basically make the full rerolls to hit and wound. Just make it 2 CP. Call
Yeah.
it a day.
And again, you can up the points. Death Guard should be an elite army. They're Marines. They should not have more bodies than you. Or yeah, they should not have more bodies than most anybody. Few exceptions and then lie yada yada. But it's just I don't know. That's kind of why I think so many people are gonna go green is because I don't think this balanced team, uh, the
You think
balanced
any of
team
them
we
watch our
currently
videos?
have, huh?
You think any one of them would watch our videos?
I think if we clockwork oranged them, they would. I think that's the only way.
It's the only way.
I
I
think,
actually think if they listen to competitive players, I think that that's actually a problem. Like if they listen to the really competitive people.
I think,
Not saying they don't understand the game the best. They certainly do. But I've always had the opinion that you should balance the game between like the 40th to 60th percentile
and I
of
agree with
players.
that, but I think that you need a few top tier players
You
every once
do.
in a while. And I think you need some of the worst players you've ever seen. And I think that this edition, I think the start of 10th was them listening to the worst players you've ever seen.
Oh man, start at 10th was certainly something. It's
And yeah.
I wonder though because I know that you're mentioning that you think the points are going to go down. I think you're going to hit a crit. I know this has been a common sentiment. I mean, this is actually going to lead into perfectly what we're going to talk about. What our next string of videos are going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think there's a point where people want Terminators to be good.
Oh my god, they want
People
Terminators to
want
be so
infantry to
good.
be good. They don't want whole spam anymore. And this has always been, and actually, this goes into our. I'll give you a little spoiler. 40K has always had a very interesting dynamic between vehicles being too good and vehicles being absolutely garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we are in the pendulum swinging towards vehicles are too good
Yep.
because why would you take something that like why would I take 10 JPI, it's 160 points. Why would I take
Mm-hmm.
that when I could take an Armiger and those 10 JPI will basically never kill that Armiger, and that Armiger has a very good chance of just not, they won't kill it in one go, but I mean,
It'll neuter them.
it'll just neuter them and they won't kill it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just going to sit there. And so you look at things also like the bloat drone, like for 120 points, that squad could kill a squad of Terminators that are like
Mm-hmm.
180, 100 something, 75, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I worry about things like Terminators is that, in general, I think you can balance everything in the game with points. I do think there are some rules that are just so broken that you really can't balance with points unless you just price them out of the game, which again is balancing with points. I
And
think
yeah,
a lot of the old data sheets are so bad
yeah.
that people don't want, I don't think people want 150-point Terminators or 100 and whatever Terminators, because then you just get like that point where things become so cheap, they just become too efficient to not run. People
Mm-hmm.
want good Terminators. They're like, I want a 5-man.
I want to pay for my Terminators, and I want them to feel good.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Space
why.
Wolf Terminators is a wonderful example. Those guys are insanely good.
Yeah, but that's because they're the same cost as regular
T6, minus one
Terminators.
to wound, four
Wait, who are you
wounds.
talking about?
Space Wolf Terminators.
They're T5, but they're 4 wounds and they're
No,
minus
they're
one to wound.
T6.
I don't think they are. I'll double check later, but I thought they were T5 and the Wolfen were T6.
Both are T6.
Okay, well, regardless, they're also a 4 wound Terminator models that
With
have
minus one to wound.
with minus one to wound just all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
that right there makes them infinitely better. That 4th wound makes them infinitely better. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. Just give all
Yeah.
Terminators like a base like wound increase. I don't think they will, but they should.
I think that they should just a 2 up 4 up ain't what it used to be.
No. You also have the issue of there's a lot of damage 3 in the meta, and I don't really know
Yeah.
why they added that as a profile. I'll be honest, I don't really get it.
I'd also prefer more D6s instead of damage 3.
Or it's like, I don't know. I mean, I think about it. I legitimately try to think what was the purpose of this profile other than like, hey, all those elite infantry squads you love, you're not going to get to use them.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And we'll talk more about that next week.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that next week.
But yeah.
Long story short, audience, we're gonna get back on the wagon. It's been busy.
It's been busy.
We hope Knights don't just completely dominate us for the next until December, which could very well happen. And I don't know. Do we have anything really else we want to talk about?
Yeah, my Votank Codex. If Knights do rule, I have an answer. The Terminators will actually be insanely useful. Purely and specifically only because they have the perfect anti-Terminator, like anti-Knights profile, because they've got that new enhancement in Need Guard, so I can make them AP4 +1 to wound, reroll ones. So it's like AP4, all that jazz. Mwah. Like I will be fine into Knights. You, however.
But we like, hey, we like adversity here.
We do. We like to have reasons to complain. So write in the like and subscribe and comment below about something you want to complain about in the meta.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're bad with this YouTube thing. We should have been the like and subscribe right at the start.
No. See, that's why people like us, because we're different. We're not corporate shills.
Speak for yourself. The second a company gives me money, I'm shilling. The second, brother, the second $20, I will sell anybody out.
You're like Mr. Krabs.
Money. So, yeah, this has been a little bit post Nova. We're getting back into recording and like actually getting into touch with y'all, and complaining about the meta. All right, I'm back in. Make sure to like and subscribe. Put a few comments down below. We love to read what you have to say, and we're back. So if you'll have us, we'll be more than happy to work with y'all and entertain y'all while you paint and build.